What is going on tonight, guys? So tonight we were able to grab a couple of things from the junkyard, including some seats from a 2006 Mustang, and I've actually been working on installing them into the Foxbody. So here is the passenger seat that is already in. So there it is. That's kind of like the final position. I probably am going to raise it up a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, I think it looks so good with the dash. And then I'm also going to eventually swap out the door panels to go to the lighter gray, which is the later 90s stuff. But I did want to take a second because I was not able to find a lot of information on this swap. So I figured I would just put something together real quick and easy. So it's pretty straightforward as far as everything's concerned. Standard Mustang stuff where you take out the 4 bolts on this. So this is like, this will be seat tracks out of like any 79 to 04 Ford Mustang. And then here is the newer complete version. So I already did this much simpler passenger side, but the driver's side obviously has a couple of motors and is a lot more complex. But the basic functionality of it is all the same. So you'll see these type of rivets right here. Okay. On the other side, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Yep, you can kind of see it. There's actually a nut. So you can get in there, I think it's like a 14 millimeter nut, and you can actually take this whole apparatus off to be able to remove this and then actually just put these seat tracks on. What I end up typically doing is I just measure across. It's exactly 14 inches for the mounting points. So I end up measuring 14 inches across, drill some holes, put some nuts in, and then I'm able to put this onto this. So I'm going to work on getting this removed right now. So this is going to become a manual seat, which I'm totally fine with. I'm probably going to have to go through, and I'd like the bolster to continue to work, so I'm going to have to go through and get that all figured out. But for the most part, that should be pretty straightforward and simple from everything that I can tell. So I'm going to stop right here, get this off, and then come back to you guys when the brackets are off. Okay, so now after getting this off, it's really not too bad if you use like some ratcheting wrenches to get underneath there. I started at least on the drivers, which had that huge contraption. I got the front ones done first. I did cut this for right now. This is just the bolster, which I want to keep, so I'm going to just splice that back together. But essentially, I just cut this, was able to peel the harness back up this way. Then I was able to actually rotate the entire subassembly backwards to be able to get, basically, you just push against the seat right here. It's really simple. And then ratchet wrench off, and then go in there with some fingers and get it out. So now what I'm going to do, okay, just because I've done this on the other side, but essentially, if you want to get a total measurement of the frame, it's maybe 16.5 right here. And then you could take a look at this one, and it's just about 16. Okay, let's call it that. All right. So I know if we go center line, which is right there, to over here, it's exactly 14 inches. Okay. So essentially, you're able to make a determination saying that this one is 16 inches, that one's 16.5. You can kind of make a decision about where you want it. What I ended up doing the first time, just to get everything kind of all settled up, and sorry, it's a little hard to do with one hand, but let's see real quick. Okay. So unfortunately, this is in the bad spot just because of how I have it, but essentially it would end up something like that where I went right in the corner right there. All right, and then this one, I end up having to bend this little bracket right here and then trim off a little corner of the plastic to be able to get this one in. But essentially I went corner to corner on this. This still stayed nice and taut, which is, this is the release, as well as I just kind of planned everything around this. This is the release for the seat on there, being able to be reached from the front. So that's kind of how I went about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to retract this down. I end up typically marking the holes, drilling them out, and then just using some simple bolts to be able to get this bolted in. But it ends up working out super, super nicely, and I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so I do have this rough mounted. There's a bolt on the other side right there, and it sits in the piece. So what I'm doing now, okay, is I need to drill these out to be able to show directly. Sorry, I'm just making sure these are all lined up. Not a big deal. There, might need to bring that over just a touch, but we'll see. Essentially, you could kind of see this black line that I went ahead and drilled out. So I'll go ahead and drill that. And then I was using like some some washers just to keep this like level, just because you can kind of see it start to twist, and that does not work. So, all right, I'm gonna drill these out and then get some bolts in there, and then yeah, should be good. Okay, so here is everything. I did reconnect this harness connection. On this, I looked up a diagram, so it looks like it's just the green and the black should be what I need, but here's what it is. So I ended up taking these big washers that I had and basically just put them in the corners. It keeps the track straighter, and then worst case if I wanted to add some lube I can, but now I'm going to stick this back in the car and give you guys kind of a visual, because that's how the passenger looks right there. I did put probably, I don't know, a ½ inch of spacers of washers at all 4 corners. I'll probably redo it and put like some actual bolts, or I'm sorry, some nuts on them, but at this point in time it'll be fine to run this for a while. It'll just be when I pull it back out. I think at some point I'm going to pull the carpet out of this car and clean it. I will go back and revisit it and fix it up correctly. So all right, I'm going to get this installed. Okay, well, here it is. We have it fully installed right here, and oh man, that's really good. So the biggest thing that both me and the wife agreed upon was that the headrests on these are so much better. As far as clearance goes, it's really not too bad. Let's take a look here. Everything feels good from the arm perspective, and then I'll move the adjustment forward. So the only thing that I'll have to do, let me see if I can, perfect, I can put that on the dash. The only thing I'll have to do is kind of just get everything set up, but like, to be honest, this feels good. The center line's perfect. I mean, overall, it's not going to adjust, it's not going to affect anything with the, it's not going to affect anything with the seatbelt situation, because that was already separate. So I just left it separate, if you can take a look right here. So, I mean, that's all taken care of, and to be honest, this is really good. This is really comfortable. So the biggest thing that I was trying to correct was the seat was broken on my old seat. It looked like it had already been welded once, but it definitely felt like it was like slightly tweaked. And I've been driving this for a couple of weeks now, and I noticed my back started to get really sore. So we took this actually to go meet up with our friends Kevin and Angus out in Kalamazoo for the Canadiana Fest, and we ended up taking the Mustang just for fun. Everything was good, but again, like seeing like kind of like back soreness issue. A local junkyard had gotten a Foxbody in when I was there. The car with these seats, it was an 05 Mustang with a V6, but it was the premium pack, was next to it, and it had the leather seats in it, which are actually kind of rare because only premiums came with that. So I did end up just going back today when we got back from Kalamazoo and grabbed them, and to be honest, they're already in the car. They're really comfortable, and I think it was a good decision. By the way, so I did like pull out like the motors and whatnot for the movement apparatus for the seat, but what I did leave in is I left everything else in the wiring in. It looks like there's just a dark green wire and a black wire. Black wire is ground, dark green is power from what I had seen, and so I should have the bolster active, so I'm gonna test it off camera, but that should still be totally good to go, and I can still use that. So cool. Well, this is a quick little video that I wanted to put together. I'm not going to do anything with the back seat just because I don't really care about the back seat at all in this car. But I had kind of seen back and forth that people are like, oh yeah, you use the tracks from the Foxbodies and so on and so forth, but I didn't get like a really conclusive answer until I just ended up doing it myself. So very easy to do. I mean, maybe took me, to be honest, maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half if you want to count everything, but very, very simple to do. And to be honest, like, it's very comfortable. I've got plenty of clearance to the door, no issues there, and yeah, so far I'd recommend it. So, well, we'll leave it there, and thanks for joining us, and catch you guys in the next one.